Dear traders, dear friends, hello, we finished trading with the team. Thank you very much for your feedback. We traded very well. Thank you for your appreciation. Now I will conduct another trading session, a personal one, my own. And as usual, we will do this with a full explanation, a complete breakdown, and with the bot that helps us. Install it for yourself, practice and test your skills on the demo. It's free. I'll be very happy to share my experience in this video. Also, don't forget, check out the Traders course. These are video lessons you won't find on YouTube, and subscribe to our Telegram channel. There I post notifications about when we go live, which is exactly what we're about to do together. I selected a currency pair, and for this pair I wanted to open a trade downwards since the chart had reached this level after breaking through this previous level. Because here there's a strong movement upward, then a correction, another correction, and from this level a downward move is expected. Look, there's an imbalance, a strong movement. In a strong movement, there's an end, a beginning, and a middle. In 90% of cases, there is a pullback from the middle. But on the next touch, there is usually a breakout. I wanted to open a downward trade, but according to the bot, based on this chart and all the indicators, I didn't see any clear confirmation. That's why, if I don't see strong confirmation, I try to avoid that currency pair and look for something else. Currency pair, Australian dollar to US dollar. Click on Start. Australian dollar to US dollar. And I choose the 1 minute time frame. So for this currency pair, I'm waiting to see what the bot tells me. For this pair, I would open an upward trade expecting a breakout. The forecast is for a breakout of this level. Here is the level. I would open an upward trade, but I need to wait for confirmation from the bot, so that the bot, based on all the indicators, also gives me the same forecast. But look, here it is. On this indicator, the signal is down, but here the signal is that the future movement of the chart is up. You see, there is growth happening here. We have a level, and in theory, this is the second touch, which means there should also be a pullback. First touch, pullback, second touch, pullback. A white histogram means it's a strong level, and the chart broke through it and went up. You need at least 3 touches, and on the 4th, only then will there be a breakout. So here too, there's a signal down, here a signal down, here a signal up, and here a signal down. Here there's a signal down. With a staircase of green candles going down, it means there won't be any upward movement. But this icon shows that it's about to get volatile. There is news, so you need to be very careful. So, out of 5 indicators, we have 4 suggesting that there will be a pullback from this level. But I wanted to enter on the breakout to go up. That's why, when my analysis doesn't match the bot's analysis, I try to avoid such currency pairs. I don't analyze them, I don't touch them. Now I'm looking for a new currency pair. We do the same thing during live streams. You see, there's a strong downward movement. I try not to trade such currency pairs. I try to avoid them. This happens because you click on this icon, and it's because there is very strong news coming out. Let me refresh the brokers page. For some reason, the news isn't showing up. Let's look for something else as well. Here's a good one so we can work it out. The currency pair, Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. Click on Start, AUD/KD, time frame 1 minute. The market movement is trending in an upward direction, but if you take a look at these price highs, we have been observing this consistent trend pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. I would look at entering an upward position right here, and I'd aim for a breakout trade, but I still need to wait for a final confirmation from the bot. If the bot also shows an upward movement, then we'll enter. Look here. 1, 2, 3. Right now, I'm entering upward for 3 minutes. Why 3 minutes upward? Let's take a look at this screenshot. So, we requested this currency pair from the broker, and what indicators are we looking at? On this indicator, the signal is downward. The future movement of the chart is down. So there are 2 signals for a decline, but we also have 3 more. Right here. A white histogram means there is a level, which means there is a strong level, and usually a strong level is broken by the chart. That happens when we have more than 3 touches, and here we have 1, 2, and at least a 3rd touch. Only after that will there be a downward movement, meaning that right now the 2nd touch will be a signal for an upward move. That's the first reason for us to open an upward position, and the second is the acceleration of the uptrend right here. The sequence of green candles down on the vertical volume indicates that the uptrend will continue, a signal upward, and here there's a crossover in the oversold zone. When, during a crossover in the oversold zone, the chart moves into overbought, then back into oversold, and then again into overbought, that's also a signal for an upward move. Out of 5 indicators, we have 3 pointing upwards, so it's not like we just randomly asked the bot and opened a trade. We first conducted a graphical analysis. Graphical analysis involves me identifying levels and zones. I highlight these, and based on the zones, I open trades either upward or downward. But before opening a trade, I consult the bot. Plus, there's also the channel of the upward trend. For us, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches and a breakout. When a breakout occurs, it goes to the first horizontal level, and from that horizontal level, they expect, according to graphical analysis. We understand that in a downtrend, there is a structure where the resistance level is broken, and in a short-term uptrend, the support level was also broken. The chart settles at the first horizontal level, and an upward movement is expected. So, I have predicted this moment. Let's follow along. There are 54 seconds left. Let's see how it turns out here. And now 47 seconds remain. We'll watch and then move on. It's possible that this currency pair won't manage to close in profit. It's possible, but I'm counting on it closing in profit. If that doesn't happen though, yesterday during the live stream we had 4 wins, 3 clean ones and 1 with insurance. If that doesn't happen though, if it closes in profit, or if at the last moment it closes in loss, then I will use a doubled amount, 2.5 times the trade amount, in other words not $100 but $250, and I will open a trade on a different currency pair. And these $250 will bring us $437 gross, and net, how much is that? $200, right? $100, $180, let's round down. And we'll recover the loss from the first trade and end up in profit. But you see, everything, it ends up working out perfectly for us. We take this one, another win. Let's move on to another currency pair. Let's see what we have with another currency pair. There really is movement both up and down, so you need to be very careful. Let's take a look at this moment with the euro to Canadian dollar pair. Click start, and we'll work with the Canadian dollar time frame, M1. Here, if I were to make a trade, I would most likely go for a put option. We have at least 3 lows, there's a descending triangle, and the highs keep getting lower. I'm expecting a breakout downward. Here I would open a position downward, but how it will actually move, well, that's the thing. That is exactly what the bot is telling us. Now, let us take a closer look at this upward signal. Just imagine, there are 5 separate signals for a price increase. Now I am honestly getting really curious about this. I entered an upward position even though I really wasn't planning to. You know, maybe there will be a breakout of this resistance level 1, 2, 3, maybe it will break through, and yes, maybe it will break through this level as well. So basically what I just did in this video is an exception. I didn't expect that all 5 indicators would point in the same direction. Usually it's 2 or 3, 2, 3, 2, 2. But here it's very confident. Let me explain and show you. On this indicator the signal is up, 5 out of 6 are up, the majority are up, the minority are down. Okay. What do we have here? The future movement of the chart is upward, okay? Here we have a wide histogram, here we have a level, and the chart keeps hitting this level and is expected to move upward. So according to our rule, there have been more than 3 touches at this level. Where there is a wide histogram, the level usually holds for 3 pullbacks, and then there's a breakout. Here there have been 3 pullbacks, so that's a signal upward. In other words, that's already 3 signals for an increase. If it were a narrow histogram, then usually on the first or second touch, the chart would typically break through on the touch. Here is a staircase of green candles, downward, continuing the upward trend. There is oversold condition just like here. Overbought is happening, overbought is happening. 5 indicators pointing up, can you imagine? Well, I entered. I just didn't mind, I was just really curious. But that's possible. You see, it's just like that. A descending trend triangle usually, well, in 90% of cases plays out to the downside. That's why it became interesting here, such a situation. Nonsense. First, second, third, fourth touch and a breakout. But it's good that we figured out that something really would break through on the 4th touch. You can place an order, follow this pattern, and see when and how the chart interacts with a particular level. First test, second test, third, fourth, fifth touch, and a breakout. So, for us the breakout happens either on the 4th or 5th touch. To see exactly on which touch it happens, check with the bot. That is, if for example there is no breakout on the 4th touch, the bot will not give a precise signal. So you wait a little, review it again. You see, I I broke my own rule that if I want to go down and the bot also wants to go down, I enter the trade. But if I want to go down and the bot wants to go up, then I don't enter. But here I did enter. If it ends up being a loss, it will be a lesson for me and a learning experience for you. And I'll also show you how I try to stay profitable over the long run with my trading system. If this currency pair closes, we'll look at a new one. I'll take out insurance for 10 seconds, just in case there's an unfortunate loss in the last second. If I usually break my own rules, it's like life teaches me with these sneaky moments. No, this time it's a win, a profit of $82, excellent. Let's take a look at something else. I'll consider one last trade. And probably we'll stop there. 3 trades, so that I have 3 wins. British pound, Swiss franc. I would open a position upwards. Start. For some reason lately, and maybe it's the same for you too. Lately the internet has been working really slowly. You blocked the British pound, Swiss franc, I already forgot the currency pair. And the M1 time frame. There's the M1 time frame, let's go. Why did it switch? British pound. One moment. British pound, Swiss franc. I would like to open upwards here. Let's see what the bot says. If the bot says down, no, then I won't enter. I won't do that anymore when I want to go up, but it says down. That's not an option. More and more currency pairs. Sometimes you quickly come across currency pairs. Got one. Did the analysis open the trade, took the profit? Sometimes it takes a very, very long time. Here it's all about luck, how it turns out. I'm moving on. Here's a moment. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Start. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Time frame 1 minute. What can we see here? First of all, we have an imbalance here. A strong downward movement. We mark the end, the beginning, and the middle of it. And in theory, there was a touch of the middle, a pullback, another pullback. But I think there will be an approach to this level, to the middle. At the very least, the chart should consolidate. Plus there's another level right here. And here we have first a pullback, second a pullback, third pullback, and the fourth touch is a breakout. I would open an upward position here, but let's see if the bot supports my intentions or not. Down, up, up, not confident. It's not confident here. Here it seems to be down, here it seems to be up. It's unclear here, down here. It's 2 to 2 according to the indicators. I don't analyze such currency pairs that are uncertain. For us, the main thing is to focus on the confident ones, enter a currency pair, and do it without any doubts. If you have doubts or hesitations, it's better to skip that currency pair. Please listen to my advice. It's better not to open this currency pair. Euro Swiss franc. Here I would open an upward position, but I'm afraid I won't make it in time. A very good moment, you see. Euro Swiss franc, time frame M1. I won't make it in time. I would have opened an upward position on the breakout of the zone. Let's take a look. Here is this zone. Let's watch and see. 1, 2, 3. The fourth touch is already a breakout. I'm not making it in time. On one hand, it's a shame, but on the other hand, there's nothing to be upset about. This is the market. It's not going to close tomorrow. What a good moment this is. You can wait for a small pullback, roughly to the spot where my cursor is. If the chart pulls back, you can open an upward position, but the ideal entry point has already passed. Getting in on a departing train is not an option. Right here would have been the ideal entry point. Why go up here? Once a pullback, twice a pullback, 3 times a pullback, the fourth touch is a breakout. And if we look at the bot, and according to the bot, we can see that on this indicator, there's a signal upward. The future movement of the chart, a signal upward. There's emptiness here, which means there is a level, but it's weak. The chart will break through its signal upward. A staircase of green candles going down, signal upward, but here it's only downward. Out of 5 indicators, 4.2 an increase. Well, here the price is already going up. I won't analyze this. It would have been a good juicy forecast for a breakout. That's it. So you know what else I have? I don't have much time right now. So if I don't find anything suitable in the near future, like the Canadian dollar or Swiss franc, then most likely we'll end the video here. That's my advice to you as well. Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, time frame 1 minute. If you suddenly realize that there are no opportunities at all, you've gone through all the currency pairs or have been watching and analyzing for a long time. I would have opened a trade down, but just take a break, have a little pause, and that's what I'm going to do now. Then there will be a second trading session with the team, and after that we'll have a live broadcast. I wanted to go down, but here the signal is up. If it goes up, I don't enter, but I go down to the bottom of the list. And probably that's where we'll finish with you. Let's see now what we have. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Okay, let this be the currency pair, the last one, Canadian dollar. Japanese yen, time frame M1. We made 2 clean wins. There's no need to be greedy either. Greed ruins everyone. Beginning and middle. I'm expecting a move toward this level. I've already requested this currency pair. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. I requested it earlier. What did we have here? There were signals down there, but some time has passed. The market has changed a bit. And here it's not an option either. Internally there are indicators for an upward move. Let's go up. I'm entering upward. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Why up? First of all, we have an imbalance. Remember, I told you when there's a strong move down or up. Actually, let me show you an example as always. Here, a strong move upward. See? And beginning middle. Upward movement, correction, pullback. The first full touch where the minimum is fixed, that's our pullback. It's the same here. Signal, not a signal, downward. We have an imbalance going on. The first touch where the chart settles, that's going to be the pullback. But the chart always approaches this level. And from this point where we made the forecast, I opened a trade for the move toward the level. Plus there's also the maximum, here's the level. Pullback, 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 pullback. I'm expecting a breakout. Like this. So there's also an imbalance there, a level that the chart should approach. Here we even have in the video course. First of all, I recommend watching the traders course. We open it, here it is, right at the very end, the imbalance. There, using simple examples, I explained the stair-step example in a very accessible and clear way. So by the nature of chart movement, whenever there is a strong move, the chart always reaches the middle of that strong move and then makes a pullback. It's as if, it can't go any further in either direction until it touches the middle. Just a simple little example. And here it broke upwards. Graphical analysis, I think you got the idea. And here we have the Canadian dollar and Japanese yen. According to this indicator, the signal is up. According to this indicator, the signal is up. Here the histogram is wide, very wide. There is a level, but look how many times this wide level has been tested. Here the signal is down. And here the signal is also down. But out of 5 indicators, 3 are pointing up. That's why I entered. Most are pointing up, so it could be that a pullback is coming now. It might knock me out maybe, but if there hadn't been confirmation from the bot, I wouldn't have entered. I think the pullback will be minimal and it will go up, but even if that's the case, okay, no problem. So let's take a look at another currency pair right now and analyze it together. Let's follow its movement for 36 seconds. Let's see exactly how the close happens, what will happen here in the market, what kind of result we'll get, and we'll keep monitoring the situation closely as it unfolds. So be careful, don't rush. If the movement has already started and gone far from the level, don't jump in. Just like we had before, skip this forecast. And in this way, step by step, carefully and with small moves, you'll reach your big goal. Don't chase after a big sum right away when you start trading, because sometimes you think, oh, I'll make $1 million or 100,000 right away. No, it doesn't work like that. Little by little, really. If you have even a small profit, that's good. I'm very happy. I managed to get 3 wins, earned some money myself and shared my experience with you. Now it's time to take a break. Use my strategy tips, join the team, add and test the bot. It's necessary. If you have any questions, write me a private message on Telegram. I always leave my personal contact, happy to give advice and help everyone make a profit. This was Trader AB with you. Goodbye everyone.